Welcome to the CEO Crowd Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Nesbitt, and today's show is for you if you've experienced any hate lately. I know that it is an unfortunate byproduct of the entrepreneurship journey, and I'll start with playing devil's advocate three times and then dive into what you really need to hear right now. So, the three things that I'm going to play devil's advocate on are one, some hate can be useful. It can be used as constructive criticism, oftentimes, if you look past the shade, and you can genuinely grow from it. So, I understand it's an experience that you can grow from. You probably don't want to hear that right now, but let's get like over the devil's advocacy first, shall we? The second thing is hurt people, and there can be solace in that. Usually not in the moment because you're like, why is this person targeted me? What did I do? Is this right? And you ask yourself a lot of questions and emotions bubble up. So we don't initially think, oh my gosh, this person is hurting so bad. But that's probably genuinely accurate. And you get to a point and you can probably think about past times, whether it's been, hate online as an entrepreneur, friends on the playground, like whatever it may have been, or bullies on the playground, I should say. Or maybe I just had the wrong friends, I don't know. But um, I think that there is solace in hurt people over time. And the third things that I'm going to play devil's advocate with is sometimes it does illuminate the truth and shows you where you can do the work. So, the reason that this is different from some hate is useful and it can be constructive feedback is I heard Layla Hormozy speak about this once, and she said that she was getting really down because a lot of people online were saying that she had a manly voice. And her husband, Alex Hormozy, if you know the Hormozys, they're like a big deal, was like, "Well, is it true? Like, do you think that you have a manly voice?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, I kinda do." And he was like, "Okay, so why are you mad about it?" And I literally I listened to that story and I was like, "Oh, like sometimes it will be true, and that's where you get to do the work is how do you make yourself okay with that?" Some people would go to speech therapy and coaching and change their voice if it was really that big a deal. I know people that have had procedures to change their body, so like plastic surgery, to fix what they perceive to be wrong about them when it's probably not wrong, it's just different. And they don't like that. So they take action to fix it. And that's everyone's complete personal choice. But sometimes it will illuminate truth to you. And when you actually just accept it, whether you want to do something about it or not, when there is this acceptance there, then actually it can hurt a lot less. So we've played devil's advocate. We're done with that now. Okay. So the rest of this, like, should we ignore all the hate? Well, no. We can use it as fuel, as inspiration. Like, think Taylor Swift's Reputation era. Like, some of the best things can come out of the hate. However, I'd venture a guess to say that most of the time it's not useful or limiting. It's just a hurt person hurting you, and you just got hurt, and that sucks. And I think that we have to create a space for, like, you likely didn't deserve it. And in this world of personal development, we're told to be the bigger person, to forgive, to move on, like trust in the process. But you need to heal and express yourself in safe ways before any of those things can happen. Your emotions are energy and they matter. And I think that personal development is like a band-aid that people sometimes put on that's not helpful. That like I can remember, I'm just gonna be really honest, this is so gross, but when I was little, I used to pick scabs like any little kid. If I got a cut on my hand, I would be like scratching at it, and my mum would be like, put a band-aid on that, or we call it a plaster. If you're from the UK, you understand. And she'd put this band-aid plaster, wherever you want to go, on my hand, and I wouldn't be able to scratch it, and it would take longer to heal because it wasn't exposed to the air, it wasn't able to go through its natural healing process. I had also been probably picking it. So it's so funny because I feel like personal development sometimes can be that plaster that like it's now going to take longer to heal because you're actually not honoring how you feel, how your body feels, and you're trying to shut that down and you're trying to rationalize and you're trying to give kindness to someone else when you're genuinely hurting. So Like I said, your emotions are energy and they matter. So write the letter that you're never going to send to the person to get it out, or go for that run that you end up finishing the run and your legs feel like jelly, but you've got the energy out, or scream into that pillow, or in an empty field. Sometimes my husband and I will be walking and I'll be frustrated about something, and he'll be like, "Do you just wanna shout it out?" And I'll be like, "Yes!" And we both just, like, scream as loud as we can. It's so funny. His eyes pretty much pop out his head, like, the veins on your neck, like, your face goes bright red. And you know what? It's not the prettiest sight ever, but if you can love your partner in that moment, you know it's legit. But also, if you can love yourself in that moment, you know it's legit self-love. So get that energy out, because it's stuck there, it's hurting you. And that's where, you can come into somatic healing and energy practices. And I am not the expert on those. I do use them, but not the expert. I would definitely recommend my friend Parinaz Shams has a podcast and is completely wonderful. She is my somatic mentor in many ways. So I would definitely recommend checking out Parinaz's work. And I'll link her below and you can check it out if that's something that speaks to you. But here is the validation I think that we oftentimes need when people spread hate or they hurt us. This is something that I learned from therapy, going to therapy for, you know, varying periods of time at various points in my life had really shown me that a lot of the therapy I needed was validation. So if you're someone that's like, we shouldn't seek validation, but it sure is nice, then this next part is for you, because I do think that those feelings need to be validated. I think that we speak around them and we try and rationalize them and we try and not feel things for so long that when someone actually says, you're not the person that they're describing, you didn't deserve any of it, that person doesn't know the real you. Nobody knows the real you but you, can be really healing. And I can guarantee if you're here that you're a kind person, that you care, that you're probably the beacon of light for your clients, your friends, your family. Your message that you were trying to share was powerful. Your opinion matters in all of this, and you are a good person. In times like these, when there is hate online or drama, then I am continually reminded of how important it is to have a safe space for you online, for entrepreneurs, space where you can be real. I was a part of a community at the beginning of my journey where this was actively discouraged. If you felt in any way negative, then it was completely discouraged, like removed from groups, removed from calls, like all the drama of the day. And what I understand now is that we need places to be real and to feel, to be around people who get you and don't deny that there's a reality that actually sucks. Like, hey, it sucks when anyone says anything negative, mean, even constructive sometimes about you. It's okay if you want to scream, shout, let it all out. If you want to cry, like, it's okay to do all of those things. And people who do the work on themselves would never intentionally seek to cause someone else pain. And I think that's the power of being in the genuinely the right room, the right community for you, the community that feels like a support team. We take it for granted when things are going really well. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm just listening in on the podcast or the show, then love that for you. But we take it for granted when things are going well. And it is such a lifeline to have community and friendship and support when things are hard. And no, you don't want things to be hard all the time just so you can lean on those things. Of course, in, the greatest times, like you want to think that there are people there celebrating with you too. But if you are in a challenging season, I think that we need to hear more often than not that you are not alone. And there are women out there like you going through similar experiences. every day that can be there for you. So I like to do this reframe because a lot of the time we can feel quite unsupported because we don't ask for help. And to reframe you maybe asking for some help right now, reaching out to a community, reaching out to a friend, an entrepreneur from eons ago when you went to that conference and they were kind of cool, whatever it may be. When you reach out, I just imagine that if that was someone reaching out to you, whether it's a client, a friend, facing the same thing, you would be there for that person. So let people be there for you because you deserve that support too. And if you do need a community, our doors are open. Come along and see if we're the right fit at our next networking event. They're totally free. The details will be in the description. And before next week, I hope that you save this for whenever you need it. But before next week, you didn't deserve that hate. You didn't. And you're a good person and you're trying your best. And we see that. And like I said, until next week, we'll be over here believing in you.